Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today guys, I'm going to be jumping down into the world of Cardano, taking a look at what's been going on with the price action of ADA and what I think is likely to happen next. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe. Tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And if you have not yet joined us down in Discord, then you are missing a trick. Go ahead and check it out, linked in the description down below. It's completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. So why not go ahead and check it out? Okay, let's go ahead and jump right down into this. Try to keep this as brief as we can while still covering over everything that I think is really important to know about Cardano and the progression to some of these really good buy zone areas. Okay, so this is ADA paired up with USDT on the hourly chart, and Binance is our data source. And I think it's worth noting that essentially I think we're in a really good spot for dollar cost averaging here on ADA. Basically, this is anywhere between 28.26 and 34.25, the bigger yellow box area here, okay? And you can see that we've been in here pretty much for a while, right? We first touched on this area way back in October. We've come down nicely into some of these low points. We had some really good swing trade opportunities as we came down into this little yellow box area between 29.46 and 29.87. And I do think that we are in an ending diagonal structure, okay? And I do think we're on the fifth wave of the fifth wave. And I think it is a structure that is made up of 3, 3, 3, 3, and 3. Okay, so basically think of it as an ABC, 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 ABC. And for the most part, you know, we are progressing quite nicely on that. We can kind of see this move to the downside. Now, my expectations are that we come down to 27.7 and 28.8. That's this yellow box area here. It's always possible that we have the slightly deeper version of 27.37 to 29.54. But as I said, dollar cost averaging anywhere really between 28 and 34 cents seems to be the best kind of idea in my mind, because this is where a lot of the potential move to the upside does occur. Now, obviously, the later that you leave this, you run the risk of potentially missing out on the opportunity, but also you do have that potential benefit, and I say it's a potential because it is a risk, that you can get more ADA for your money, right? Essentially, the later that you leave this, the deeper that we go, potentially. But essentially, at some point, we are going to be looking for a break out of this area, okay? And I think we're getting closer to it. So if I just zoom out here, you can kind of see that this kind of structure here, ending kind of diagonal pattern right towards the very end. Now, what I want to do is I want to ascertain within the most recent price action just here where we are on that journey, because I think it does look like we've done this. Okay, we've come down here and we ended with 5. And you know, we could argue 335 and then just 5 at the end there. So 335 in total. We then move up in 3 waves and we have this really choppy kind of move to the downside over here most recently. If we kind of make this a little bit bigger here, you can kind of see that what we've done is we've kind of come down, we've moved up, we've come down, we've moved up, we've come down, and we can actually continue to move down a little bit. But this overlap here is the part that's the problem, okay? So we are actually coming down, as you can kind of see, and with this level of overlap, it kind of means that we aren't really doing any decent structure. It's just corrective, which is kind of what I would expect to a degree, but at some point we're going to see some kind of bounce. Now, from here, we can see that we have this potential overextension just going on with 5 waves coming down. So I'm going to say it's 335 again, kind of marrying up with where we were previously. But I do think that this is basically just the start. Now, there's 2 different ways that this can play out, okay? We can have a small move to the upside. So if I grab hold of my fibs here and I put this onto the existing low here, we might move up to 32 cent, like 31.98 just up there, for example, in a 3-wave structure that looks like this, A, B, and C. Okay, it's essentially more like a sideways trade. And then we break on down into another 5 waves. So another 3 waves, which would look like this. So A, B, and then we come down finally into C. Okay, so I think this is something that could occur. Now, the only issue here is we've either already completed the A wave or we've got to have the C wave yet. Okay, so we kind of completed the ABC structure upwards into this B wave, sorry, or we haven't finished this B wave just yet. Okay, and that's the part that we don't know. So what we're going to do is we need to figure out where our invalidation lines are. So let me go ahead and just remove some of these. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to talk about where the price would go, and if the price happens to hit these areas, then we would expect to do something, right? So down here at the bottom, okay, this area of 29.91. Okay, this dashed line here at the bottom, this red one, it's actually a little difficult to see. So let's go ahead and make it white. And so this little dashed line here. Okay, if we drop down lower than 30.14 cent, then we have started the C wave movement to the downside. Okay, and we'll do a target for that in a second. However, if we do not cross this area and we start rallying up, then we want to see if we cross this high area of 31.87. If we do, then of course we are still in that ABC structure and this B wave, and we will then break down from there. Okay, so it's one of those. It could be either. I think we've got the potential here of crossing this 29.91. Okay, if we can cross this area just here, the white dashed line, then we know that we're moving down. Okay, and if that is the case, then what we can do is we can be predictive over that, because we already have completed our A wave over here, meaning that we can come ahead and put this on top of our dashed line at the top there, and we could see that we could move down to this area here of 28.97 cent, potentially even come down into our area a little bit lower where we have our yellow box. Okay, so you can start to see that we have this potential move to the downside. Okay, so two scenarios here that could play out, and we want to kind of be aware of both of them. Until one of these dashed lines, so 29.91 or 31.87, get crossed, we are potentially just going to range sideways. Now, from our momentum indicator, it does look like we have upward momentum available to us on the 1 hour chart, but not on the 4, 8 or dailies. So let's go ahead and bring up our stocks here, and what we'll do is we'll take a look at that 4 hour chart. So on the 4 hour chart, we're almost oversold, so we've still got the progression to the downside. On the 8 hour, still have plenty of progression to the downside. Same with the 12 hour. The 16 hour is also the same. The 20 hour, also the same, and the daily has got potential to the downside as well. Okay, so there's definitely still a little bit more room to the downside here. So it does look like we could hit our targets and then start rallying. However, coming down here and trying to buy at these exact points is going to be risky. Like I said, there's this could be a 30-minute wick on a candle that just comes down, takes out the area, and then the next thing you know, you're rallying on up. So like I said at the beginning, dollar cost averaging between 34 and 28 does seem to be the safer play at the moment, in my opinion, for Cardano's ADA, and the potential to the upside after completing this structure I think is reasonably high, but again, we need to see some confidence in the space before we can get too carried away. But I would expect a pretty decent surge to the upside from here before we start seeing the next structure. Essentially, the bear market lows I still think are to come in here for Cardano. I don't think they're here yet, and I am expecting 22 cent approximately on those lows. So what we're talking about here is a small kind of movement to the upside that's still noticeable on the map here for Cardano, but is not going to be a new bullish cycle, maybe just a relief rally of some kind. But I do expect that once we kind of finish these structures off towards the bottom for Cardano, that we are likely to see that move upwards. So everything's still pretty much on track, but in these kind of diagonal patterns, they can take a little bit longer to play out. And yeah, we do have these kind of lows kind of mapping out quite nicely for us now here on Cardano's ADA. So I'm going to leave the video right there. If you found it useful and informative, smash the like button. I do appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. And if you haven't joined us in Discord, you are missing a trick. Check it out, linked in the description down below. Until the next one, have a fantastic day.